we have this perception of the world around us, and so much of it is just wrong. It's just a lie, and they're lies we tell ourselves and lies other people tell us. And I'd like to explore those things because I think for us to live our best lives, we really need to understand what are all those ways that we undermine ourselves and others undermine us. And so today I want to talk about some interactions I've had with someone over the years. It took me a long time to realize what happened, what was going on, because this person, people love this person. All types of people. I've seen racists and Muslim fundamentalists alike just love this person and compliment them and praise them and just enjoy being around that person. And then behind their back, that person would share with me how they had no respect for those people. And it it fascinated me because even for me, I assumed the best in this person and that, okay, this is a little quirk and, there's something about those people that rubbed him the wrong way. But over time, I realized that no, that's how he sees everyone, including me. I am just a tool. I'm just there to serve his needs, what he wants. And he will treat me and anyone else nice and make us feel like we're his best friend in order to get what he wants. And, as opposed to me, who I'm always honest, I always really care about everybody and I want the best for everyone, but I come across very harsh and rough at times because for me, after, having experiences with people like this, I value truth. I value honesty. I value integrity. I value authenticity. And, for me, that is far more important. And I'll ask questions that challenge the way, a group thinks, groups that I belong to. Not because I want them to feel bad, I want them to feel less than, but I want us all to be better. And the kind of reception I receive is very different than the kind of reception this other person receives. And there's a glitch in our programming and how we see the world. I came across a study, a meta-analysis that looked at, how good are we at detecting lying, and said it's a little bit better than a coin toss. So we are a little bit better at detecting a lie than a coin. So I think a coin 50-50, right? You flip a coin, but for us, we're like maybe 54%. Okay. But most of us think that we're really good at sizing people up. We're really good at understanding, oh yeah, this is a good guy. This is a nice guy. This is someone I can trust. But how many of those people did this person I was describing talk to that felt like, oh, he's a good guy. He's not lying to me, right? I'm sure they didn't feel he was lying to them. Otherwise, they wouldn't have been so happy. They wouldn't have praised him, myself included. Why do I bring this up? I bring it up. I bring this up because I want us to think about how do we trust people and what's that based on? A lot of us get a gut feeling. I remember when President George W. Bush was running for president, and the media would always kind of bring up this idea that he's a guy that people feel they can get a beer with, they could sit down and have a good time with, and that that approachability was enough for them to trust that he could run the country. And because of that, we got dragged into two wars and we were lied to about weapons of mass destruction in Iraq. And, apparently we're not very good at this. So, what's the way around it? How do we protect ourselves? I see two ways. One is let's not trust our emotions that much, okay? We can treat people nice that treat us nice. There's nothing wrong with that. But don't assume that because somebody comes across as very friendly and somebody we can connect with, that they have our best interests at heart. Okay, it's just not true. Over time, people reveal who they are. So whenever I meet somebody, I don't trust that first impression. I'm like, okay, they seem nice. All right, let's see where it goes from here. Because it's only over time that we really truly understand people, what their motivation is, Do they have our best interest at heart? And whether they would be a good friend, whether they'd be a good coworker, whether they'd be a good employee, boss, spouse, whatever important person we're allowing into our lives. I think it's important we don't trust that first impression. Rather, look at that person over time and study them objectively. And that brings us to the second point, which is look at objective information. We are not very good at detecting lies, but we're very good researchers. We're very good critical thinkers, human beings. And so be critical. Look at these people objectively, not through this biased lens, through those rose-tinted glasses, but through a more objective lens that studies them and what they say and what they do. And, you know, over time, we will realize that. And I do believe people in the long run are good at detecting this. You know, often we give the benefit of the doubt to people in the beginning, which is a great thing, but not everybody deserves that. And so it's important to stay on our guard. And this applies to friends, but this also applies to people running for political office. This applies to influencers and others who want to convince us that they're right and we should follow them. It's very important. We're very critical of those people.